What's good? It's your boy TheCzarr, Rights Reserve. I'm just here briefly to prove a point. Now, this crazy. I did that release where I spoke to you guys. That happened on what, May 4th? Now, here on May 9th, a story I did not see. I'm gonna read it to you. It's crazy. And you're gonna have it on the cover photo that shows up on this video. I'm gonna read this to you, and I want you to tell me what you think's happening right here. It says Senator Ted Cruz of Texas didn't do anything to aid in Marine Trevor Reed's release from Russian custody. Reed's father, Joy Reed, said Trevor Reed was detained in Moscow in 2019 after being convicted of attacking Russian police. He suffered during his stay in a Russian prison, including getting a suspected broken rib and catching COVID-19, his family has said. He was released on April 27th as part of a prisoner exchange between Russia and US. In the US, Reed was swapped for Konstantin Koroshenko, a Russian pilot sentenced for drug smuggling in the US. He didn't do anything, Joy Reid said of Cruz in an interview with the Dallas Morning News. He's an embarrassment to the state of Texas. Let me just say that. I don't care what or who runs against him. I will work for their campaign to defeat. It sounds very familiar to what I said. This is crazy. He's literally sounding like me talking. This is a father of a U.S. Marine from Texas who was speaking out because publicly they said you were speaking about him, their son, but you did nothing in a position when you could have. The father was so dissatisfied with Cruz's actions surrounding his son that when Cruz called to congratulate the Reed family after publicly showing support for his son's release, the elder Reed said he asked, "Where have you been for the last 2.5 years?" I hit him point blank. "We are not appreciative," Reed told Dallas Morning News. They don't need celebratory tweets or phone calls when their loved one has been released. Jonathan Franks, a spokesperson for the Reed's family, told the Insider. They need tweets and phone calls when their loved ones are in jail. Reed called Cruz asking for help years prior. Years prior. Cruz's staff said he couldn't speak out about their son's detainment. Wonder why? Why is that? Publicly, because the senator was an enemy of Putin, Reed said. Okay. So he couldn't speak out publicly because, let me see if you guys put it together too. Cruz's staff was at, Reed called Cruz asking for help years prior, but Cruz's staff said he couldn't speak out publicly of the son's detainment because the senator was an enemy of Putin. As you should be. So how were you cool with Trump? If you were an enemy of his and it was 2.5 years ago and you were cool with Trump, when Trump was inviting him over, you never said anything? I don't understand that. It doesn't make sense to me. Franks told the Insider, particularly when Trump was president, it would have helped a lot if Ted Cruz had picked. I just said that. I just said that without reading this part. When he was friends with Trump, it would have helped tremendously. That's what he says. And he claims that you were friends with him, but you refused to speak out for some reason, saying that you were an enemy of Putin. So would anyone from the U.S. at that time, then, I guess. That doesn't really make sense to me. Cruz said he did not speak partly because administrative officials told him it could be counterproductive since he had been so against Russia's proposed Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline. He told that. So a U.S. Marine was a publicity problem for you to speak for his freedom? I don't get it. That's a U.S. Marine. Hold on. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone. Anyone. So what he's saying is because it would not have been socially acceptable for him being against some gas pipeline to publicly go against Putin to get Trevor Reed, a U.S. Marine, free. A U.S. Marine. It would have been a problem to speak out because of that. I don't understand that. Call me silly. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't really get that. That doesn't, honestly, it sounds like you put business over the life of a U.S. Marine, one of the great men of our country who put their life on the line to be free. He's a prisoner of war, okay? And it would have been counterproductive? What? That was a bad, I told you. I said he has bad staff, he has weird people around him, and he's even more weird. That was a weird answer. I wouldn't even answer that. They literally made you look crazy. It makes it look like, never mind. We're not even gonna go there. That doesn't sound right. That don't sound right. Because I know if any other U.S. Marines heard that reasoning, that they'd step up and they'd be like, they'd speak out. And then what would you say? I don't get that. Me knowing a lot of U.S. Marines, I don't think they'd rock with that. Another reason. So this is a fourth reason. That's crazy. And I was reading, I was like, all that other stuff, and then you knowingly dealing with a situation where he's a prisoner of war as a U.S. Marine from your state, and the excuse you give is a gas pipeline. Aren't we not even dealing with them anymore when it comes to gas? So how is it counterproductive? I mean, at least now he's free, but it wasn't by you interacting at all. You just congratulated it. That's crazy, sir. That's crazy. I can't think of any other politician who would have messed up like that. That's insane. That's a fourth reason. That's wild. Like, that blows my mind. This is a U.S. Marine. This is the first line of defense. And you're telling me over a gas pipeline. And it's funny, we're not even accepting gas with Russia right now. And this was your reasoning? That sounds counterintuitive. You're saying counterintuitive. It goes against the mindset of anything that's going on now. But then you guys would have had to have conversation about what to do in case of a situation that is occurring today, because that's what you get paid to do, sit around and have those conversations. That's insane. Ted Cruz, and this is a Marine's father speaking out, where it's crazy because you said congratulations, and he said keep it, I don't want it. That's wild, sir. Wow, sir. Wow, man. Ted, that's insane. Do you know how much of a hero you would have been if you made the move instead of worrying about being counterproductive? You would have been a hero. You missed that opportunity with the hero. Not even helping. This is a U.S. Marine, Ted. It's not a random dude. It's not a random guy, some random person down the street. No, this is our first line of defense. Literally, you could have been his saving grace at a time when I guess no one was really helping out. And they reached out to you. But what's even crazier is you reached out publicly. There was a problem publicly to talk about it, but you reached out publicly to congratulate. Why? You should have just did it on the low. That's insane. The insider this is the insider. They just got you, son. They got you. They won that one. That's insane, Ted. Mr. Cruz, that's crazy. This read so insane, sir. It goes against your whole political stance. It makes you look useless as a governor. It makes people ask, what does my governor do for us? Oh, if I'm a U.S. Marine in this state, don't count on this guy coming through to save me. Like, this don't read well, Cruz. This don't read well. This don't read well. That was wrong. This was wrong. Because a gas pipeline? What? I don't even get what that has to do with anything. With the U.S. Marine being a prisoner. What does that have to do with you speaking out saying, return my guy, return my fighter, return my statesman? What does that have to do with that? This is standing up for yourself, standing up for your state, standing up for America. So you were scared because of a gas pipeline dealing with Russia to stand up for a Marine. It sucks to be a Marine in Texas. I'm going to say it again. It sucks to be a Marine in Texas. Can we get someone else there to represent them? This reads crazy, sir. Sir, this thing I just read that the insider let out for May 9th reads so crazy. And you think people will overlook it, but I'm reading. You're thinking to yourself, oh, this black dude read. I'm reading. Yes, I'm reading. And this reads crazy, sir. Sir, Mr. Cruz, Senator Cruz, this reads crazy. You put a gas pipeline over a U.S. Marine's life? You put a gas pipeline over a U.S. Marine's life. Sir, what time are we in? Are you from Texas? You really thought that made sense? Sir, this reads crazy. Like, anyone who reads this, you just basically made somebody who's not going to vote for you. Anybody who reads this is going to say, wait, especially if they're in the military, I don't want this guy. Because if I get in a bind and I'm fighting for my country, I can't count on Cruz. Not even when Trump's in office. That was your guy. When your guy was in office, you couldn't help. So what are you supposed to do? Biden ain't your guy. Who else ain't your guy that's going to be in office? Sir, that's despicable. I don't even use that word. Like, that's despicable. This is wild. Wow, sir. Sir, wow. Sir, for real. Really, sir. This is crazy. I read this a couple times, and I really had to wrap my head around it. Like, a gas pipeline dealing with Russia. But I'm like, today in the age, we ain't even taking gas from Russia. It makes sense because then you were Trump's guy. That's why he reached out, because that would have made sense, because him and Putin had speaking relations, communication, speaking. Now you're jumping on the same news station taking shots at Trump. Wow. No wonder Trump didn't extend his arm to help you, because he probably inherently knew that if I'm not rocking with this guy in the future, he ain't going to rock with me. Look what we see happen. Wow, sir. Wow. That's insane, man. This read of what's going on, sir, this is wild. This is great. You cannot be my senator. I don't know what's going on in Texas. Texas, y'all got to stand up and make a choice for yourself. But this reads crazy, Ted. This reads crazy, Ted. You got to figure everything out dealing with the office. I told you, as a politician, people were passing away and different stuff during the pandemic, and you didn't do enough. Now a family comes out and says you didn't do enough for the military. That's crazy, sir. Sir, you got to reinvent your image. You got to reinvent something, sir. This can't stand as is. If you're going to even stay in office to be voted, sir, this is a local. This Marine's local to Texas. This is going to take your local support, not even looking at your whole Texas. Man, the exact position you're around, sir. This would have been the one thing you could do to show that you're the truth. And TheCzarr's objective, I would have came out and spoke on it, positive. I'm looking at this come up. Sir, you just, wow. You got to figure out that part, sir. That's crazy, man. All rights reserved, man. This is crit. Ted, this is insane. Makes no sense.